Hello and welcome to my bushfire resistant tiny house number 3 based on the flame zone regs down here in Kinglake, Victoria. It's the most fire resistant tiny house that I've built, and today we're going to be concentrating just on the doors. This is the side door entrance to the main entranceway. It's narrow because it's space limited, and on the right you can see the shutter. They are big weak points in houses for fire, for weatherproofing as well. But we're trying to stop radiant heat from getting in, trying to stop air transfer, smoke, and also stop it from breaking too is a big problem with anything glass particularly. The timber is silver top ash, reclaimed, very dense timber, stays stable under heat and under flame. This is the glazing unit. Huge problem with fireproofing is any form of glazing. So we've got 8mm toughened glass on the outside, 4mm toughened glass on the inside, argon filling which is 20mm thick, that's to stop heat from transferring through. All these materials I test myself, in particular the glazing units. They don't last very long under direct flame. That's the bottom half shattering out. It did perform relatively well. It's the best unit that I've got, but needless to say it's still a weak point. So to protect them, I have installed shutters on the outside. There's an entire other video to come about shutters. Needless to say though, they are not combustible. They fit very tightly and they have a lot of mechanical components such as these bolts, strong hinges, and they are on every door and window. On the door, we're looking for a very tight seal. Against that stop, it's 19mm thick ironbark. We're trying to stop air and smoke from transferring through, and to do that we use a double stop. So it's got a steel lip on the back side wherever it's possible, which is the top and the closing edge. They're shut very neatly against the ironbark jamb. You can see almost no gap whatsoever, very tight. There's no rubber seals. So instead we have this steel lip on the bottom, closing as tightly down as physics will allow. Can't do it on the hinge side either, so the hinges are checked in and they close very tightly against the jamb and against the stop. Speaking of closing, here's our door handle. It's a very important component. Anything with plastic in it can melt and jam. We don't want that to happen. So it's all brass and steel. It's got a very mechanical feel to it. Very satisfying door close, and a latch on the inside, so keys are not required. Very important for anything which locks. The jamb obviously is an important component, so too is this center panel here, which is a checker plate steel. Behind it is a pine core, which will transfer less heat than the dense timber. The other bit you'll see here is the steel trim, which is 30x3 steel, fixed with a lot of screws and silicon as well. It's heat-proof silicon, up to 290 degrees, that'll stay stable. You'll see a lot of it. That's our door jamb, multiple lips. We've got a 40mm thick sill on the bottom, all intended to stop embers and radiant heat from getting in. The jamb must stay stable, so same with the door, so that they form a tight lip even under immense heat. So we've got a lot of fixings in there. It's thick, it's 19mm timber by 140. It's reclaimed ironbark decking. It's rounded as well, the corners are rounded. That's to reduce the ignitability of it. Right at the bottom we've got some weatherproofing there with the silicone to stop the water from leaking upwards. We've got on the inside between the frame and the jamb intumescent cork, fireproof cork, to fill up any gaps that expands under heat. On the outside, super important, steel cannot transfer heat through to the inside. That's an absolute no-go for fireproofing. But steel, while it is a useful cladding, it is very unstable under heat. So we've got a lot of fixings, a lot of rivets, screws. There's rock wool insulation behind all the foldings, which is 0.75mm thick steel. The corrugated iron is also filled with insulation from the backside, which is a Bradford product. I've done this a few times now on 3 different tiny houses, very similar setups with the doors. This one here's got a full glass panel in it. All very effective, tight fitting and stable. The key there being that they don't transfer heat through, and they remain stable under the fire conditions. I hope that was useful for you. For a lot more fire tips for the burn tests as well, there will be more content on my channel shortly. By all means, check out what's there already. And if you're in Victoria, I do a few presentations. I'll be appearing at a few festivals as well in the coming 12 months. I'm Tom from TC Tiny. Thanks for watching.